Hey guys, this is Keith and welcome to Let's Play The Legend of Grimrock. This game is absolutely amazing. I have played it before, I've completed it before, but about halfway through through my playthrough of it, I was like, damn, I should have recorded this because it was great. I didn't, I completed the game and it's been a while since I've done that, so I am banking on having forgotten a lot of the game. So this is not going to be a blind let's play because I have played through the game, but it's also not a tutorial because I have forgotten quite a lot of things and I will make mistakes and I will forget things and I will overlook them. And I hope that in the end we can experience the game together again and you can enjoy this let's play. This game is a dungeon crawler at its heart, and it is, you know what, I'm just going to explain as we go along. You can choose to not create your own characters and then go with the default party which has preset skills. But I am gonna create my party. I'm gonna be playing on normal. You could play on hard, but the only difference between normal and hard is monsters do more damage and they have more HP. So it's not really a huge deal. This is the character generation screen where you can make out your character. You have a bunch of different races to choose from. You have human, minotaur, lizardman, and insectoid, which we are going to. I know what I'm going to create. I have this planned out. First time I played this game, I went with a default party, and then a few levels in, I was like, yeah, I don't really feel this. Like this is really working out for me. So I went back and redid it. And for this, I have planned out what kind of direction I want my characters to be in. So first off, this is Keith. He's gonna be a human fighter. Fighters have different skill classes, that you can choose to put points into. Athletics, which is just generally a stats up. You have armors, which is gonna allow you to carry better armor. We have axes, maces, swords. I don't need to explain this to you, right? And as you can see down here in the bottom, as you level up a skill, you get more attacks and you get, general stats upgrades. And you got unarmed combat. You also got a bunch of different stats like attack, power, accuracy, protection, evasion, strength, dex, vitality, and willpower, and so on, which we are going to increase for each character. So, last but not least, you have the traits. And traits are just like choices you can make for your character. They don't do a whole lot in the grand scheme of things, but it does help out in the beginning. Moving along, let's show you the rogue character, which has assassination, daggers, dodge, missile weapons, throwing weapons, and unarmed combat. And finally, we have the mage character, which has air, earth, fire, ice magic, general spellcraft upgrades, and staff defense. I am going to make these characters here, and then we're going to see the intro, and then I'm going to tell you what kind of characters I've made. So, enjoy the intro. Mount Grimrock. A towering spire looms above the clouds, a weathered rock that has stood tall for ages, longer than the histories of men have been written. It's a desolate place now, only remembered when things need to be discarded and forgotten. An airship struggles to gain altitude as it floats towards the peak. Four prisoners bound by heavy chains emerge from the ship. The court accuses them of terrible treasonous deeds, but by the grace of the king, their crime shall be forgiven atop Mount Grimrock. Their final trial is at hand. Numerous prisoners have received their pardons here, yet none have returned to live their life in freedom. They are at the very top of the world, and below them only darkness and justice awaits. And then they're pushed into it. That's mean. As they are plunged down the open maw at the peak, their crimes are absolved. Everyone before them has perished in the guts of the mountain, but will you be able to lead them through the dark and to the freedom that awaits at the base of Mount Grimrock. English is hard. The Legend of Grimrock. First time playing Grimrock? A tutorial I don't need no tutorial. So, let me introduce you to our prisoners. First off, we have Keith. Keith is a human fighter who is going to specialize in swords and armors because we want to deck him up, we have 4 skill points available. So let's just dump them into swords. We don't have any swords or anything right now, but we're gonna find some. Our traits are agile, where we get some more dexterity, and healthy, where we get some more vitality. So that's going to be nice. Strength is nice to have. It gives us attack power and carrying power, but carrying capacity. But we really do want some dex, because that depends on whether or not we hit people. And no amount of strength is worth anything if you miss, basically. Second up, we have Balrog, our miniature fighter, as well. His traits are the Headhunter, which is special to Minotaur, which gives extra attack power for the more skulls you're carrying. We're gonna find some skulls throughout the game. We're also a fist fighter, so instead of swords, fist fighting gives us +6 attack power when unarmed. So instead of swords, we are just gonna plop our single skill point into unarmed combat. He's not gonna have any weapons, but he's gonna be a beast nonetheless. Next we have Croat. He is a lizard man rogue whose traits are +4 attack power and + strength. Now this is funny because he's going to be specialized in missile weapons. I want to make a bow character, and dexterity doesn't mean anything with ranged weapons. You will always hit, but strength increases your attack power. So we're actually going to focus this guy on strength rather than dex, which is sort of weird. Unfortunately, we don't have any missile weapons right now, so I'm just going to leave these 3 skill points for now. There's no point in using them. Finally, we have Curly Brace, an insectoid female, I would assume, because it's pink. As you can see, her hands are glowing because she's a mage with a strong mind, +2 willpower, and aura, +15 energy. Energy is our mana. And we are going to specialize her into ice magic. Thankfully, she has read up on magicism, so she does know the basic frost attack, which is that. So that's great. So let's get into things. Legend of Grimrock moves around in grids like this, as you can see. And that's going to be important in combat and in everything we do. Because that's pretty much how the game is based. You attack by right-clicking on abilities down here. You can preload spells. We're going to need to do that. It takes a little longer to preload spells, but it is worth it because they are very, very powerful. Now, I've played this before, so I know that there's a little secret button here, which opens this door. So, and we also find a shuriken, as well as some lurker boots. Now, because Balrog is a fist fighter, we're gonna put evasion stuff on him. We're gonna leave protection stuff like big armors for Keith. Let's get into things. Now, this gate is locked. It's easy enough to open up. I mean, if you can't get through this, then you are going to be in some serious trouble. The Legend of Grimrock also has this neat little map. I want to go back. Just as you can see, the map sort of fills out when you explore things. You can play the old school mode, and then the map doesn't do that, and you have to, fill out everything on your own. But that is a lot of work, and I don't need to do that. Let's move along. So as you can see, there are secrets everywhere. There are items that we can find. There's a peasant's tunic. We'll add that. Well, there's another one. Legs. So I guess we'll add that to Keith as well. So he's a little bit more protected. And here's a cutgle. I guess we'll give it to him. We want to give him a sword, but it's better than nothing right now. So let's continue onwards. Now here's the first, this game has a lot of puzzles, and this is the first puzzle. Everybody can figure this out. If you stand on this, the gate goes up. If you move away, the gate goes down. But lo and behold, here is a rock. Now, I want this rock, so I'm actually going to sacrifice... I think I'm actually going to sacrifice this cuttle here. Because this cuttle is going to get replaced, but I do want to keep this rock with me for now. So we'll do that. We can pick up the torches. Balrog is carrying a torch, so we don't need it. But it's always nice to have torches later on. And here's a key. Now you would want to look around and check for... Actually, hold on. Let's put that down there. I could upgrade throwing weapons. But then you can't pull anything out of the skill points that you've chosen. So... I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait until I get some missile weapons, which shouldn't be too long, hopefully. Let's pick up this rock. Oh, you can also throw stuff. You can either throw stuff like that. You could also just place it on the ground. And you can also, if you have it in your inventory, you can... I forget. There you go. You can choose one there and toss it away. But for now, since Croaked... It doesn't really have any weapons. We're going to go with that. Now, we should find... Oh, what's this? Loose rock. See, there's going to be hints around the game as well that tells us about, things we should see. Sorry, that didn't make any sense. That tells us about secrets and where we are and tells us the location of an area we are in. So if we just explore, I'm going to pick up a few torches because we don't really need... we have one and it's stupid to leave them behind. And here's our first enemy. So let's attack this giant snail. Poof. With a bit of magic. Now combat in this game is very much dependent on you moving away from your targets. I don't think I'm going to... I think I can kill it with this. No. Ah, well. There we go. So you're going to see me move around a lot. Rocks actually drop to the ground. Other weapons, like the shuriken, will stick to the target, to the enemy. So that's something to keep in mind. But we are going to have to use rocks, for now. Got some leather boots. We'll give them to Keith. What else do we have here? We have a knife. That is a dagger. Ability. Well, I guess it's better than nothing because we left the cuttle behind. And we have some leather pants, which gives +3 protection. That's +2, so we'll do that. And we'll add that to Balrog. Now, when you fight enemies, people in the back won't get hit, but they can't reach either. So they're going to have to rely on ranged attacks or some special weapons that will allow you to to reach from the back. So let's move along here a bit. We got a throwing knife, which has 8 attack power. And the shuriken has, what, 11? So we're going to use that. We only have 1 anyways. So I guess that's fine. Was there anything else? I forget. I should be more thorough. No, and I don't see any hidden switches. So here's a good spot for damaging 2 of these snails at the same time. So I'm just going to do that again. I chose Ice Magic because in my first playthrough, I played as a fire mage. And I think Ice Magic is pretty fun. It's going to be fun. It doesn't do as much damage as fire does. But it does have the ability to... See, it says can't reach. Has the ability to stun enemies later on, which is going to be really, really nice to have. So what do we have here? We have a locked door. Let's look around a bit. Was there something on the ground there? Oh yeah, we can also free look if we need to. We don't really often need to, but it's nice to have. We got another rock. That's nice. We got some food. Food is also important because we do need food when we are trapped inside the dungeon. So let's see. We have some sandals. We're going to give those to Let's give them to Croat. And we got a loincloth. And we'll give that to Croat as well. Now let's just check for hidden switches. I don't believe there are any, so let's just continue on. Check the map. Need to go up there. That is probably where we're going to find the key for the room. For the door, I should say. So we have entrance in there, and let's go this way. We have some more food and another rock. So that's nice. Now here's a pit. To close the pit, something needs to fly. Now, I'll just show you. You can toss something over there that lands on the pressure plate, and we can pick up the key. Now, if we were to not have anything, let's just toss that over there so we can pick it up in the moment. We will fall down into the pit. That does damage us a bit, but we can live with that. You can't fly. What can? So if we had just jumped down, we would get the clue for that, and we can be teleported up again. Some of the pits hold enemies. Some of them hold treasure, and you would generally want to, explore them eventually, So, here's a nice little demon statue. Heal my sight. So you want to see. The first level isn't terribly difficult, but yeah. So here's a snail. Here's another pit. Let me just jump down into it. Ow. Oh my god, we actually lost a person. That is not good. That's not good at all, actually, because now our little guy, he doesn't gain any experience. And it's going to take a while before we can actually rest him. I'm contemplating just restarting, but that's not fun. We could just... I'm hoping that we will find a... No, it's actually going to be a while until we find the... a way to rest this dude. So we are just gonna... It's a bad start for Let's Play, Keith. Well, that sure was embarrassing. So let's try this again without the failing and the dying and the horrible... Oh, we were going this way, actually. The terrible, terrible fails we had. So, yeah, it was basically because we fell down the pit. I can do it now. I just gotta be careful not to die from the snail. And then hopefully we should be able to survive again. I guess it was the combination of fall damage plus giant snail that got us dead. But it is alright. So what do we have? We have a peasant's cap. That's nice. I like that. Got some a snail slice. That's always nice. And another rock. So we actually have quite a few rocks here. We are actually in level 2 now. I don't remember how we turn the page. Oh, yeah, you can make notes if you want to. But we don't really need to. And we can't seem to reach through these giant gaps or giant holes. Every pit will have a way up again. So it's worth checking them out. Hello, Schneal. How are you today? Let's kill these. Would love to get more. I hit more than one with this, but it's fine. We'll take it easy. I'm not gonna spend my energy on that, because you see that was pretty much useless. Now there should be more snails other than that one. There we go. Hello. How are you? Hey, buddy. One thing you will notice is that I'm trying as much as I can to include every character in the fight. That's because if you don't participate in the fight, this particular character only gets 50% HP instead of 100. So you do want to have everybody join in on the fight. Also, if you die, you get no XP at all. I am not fighting as you should. Later in the game, you will see me dodge quite a lot around, because that is the way you fight in this game, by dodging rather than just taking it brute force. We have a scroll of fire burst. So if we wanted to make a fire mage, we would have the scroll for this. We could probably... No, we can't actually do that because we have absolutely no points in fire, and we're not going to get that. So I'm not even going to carry that around. Let's see, we have a loincloth. I think the only pantsless guy is Curly Brace, or girl, I should say. And we got a tattered cloak. Very nice. Let me just check and see. Nope, we get to go. Let's deal with this snail here. Don't go away, snaily snail. I don't know why I just didn't toss a rock at it, but there we go. Got some more snail slices, and we got a blue gem. So that's a nice little trick. I think what we could do is put that there. There we go. And move along. So that is one gem sorted for this dude here. Let's move along down this path here. And lo and behold, it's a new enemy. Actually, several enemies, as you can probably hear. So we want to possibly draw this back a bit, because I don't want to fight this any guy head on. He can do quite a lot of damage. And you're not supposed to just take him head on. Haha! So this way you can negate quite a lot of damage. There are times where you just will take damage, but if we can avoid it, that would be fine. So that's one more dude down. Now, Curly Brace doesn't have any more mana, so we're just going to rest a bit. If you rest and a monster happens upon you, then you're screwed. You're going to wake up and you are going to have to fight your way out. But you're obviously going to take some damage, so that's not very good. And you might even get cornered if you are really unlucky. Oh, hello. She was just... Were you watching me sleep? That's a bit weird, don't you think? So we'll just move away, let him come to us. I think we're actually doing pretty well so far. I mean, I should. For someone who has completed this game already, it would be very, very shameful if I couldn't, you know, do this at this level of the game. So there were 4 of these guys in here, which is weird. They're just standing around in here. Whoop. So you'll see me dodge around quite a lot to try and avoid damage and to just keep the enemy occupied, you know. There we go. And we get that. That is, I think that's for food as well. We got quite a lot of. So yeah, we eat that and we are getting full. We don't really need to eat unless we are like really low on hunger or high on hunger. I don't know. What would you say? So the next gem is in there, and we need to find a way and also loot stuff. This here is a consumable, but we can always also, I think we can use that for a potion later on. Oh, spoilers! We get potions. We have to make them ourselves. But okay, where was the? Oh, right there. Now we can get the second gem, and whew, there's a button with a bit more stuff. We have found the dagger, another dagger. This one has more attack power, so that's great. I guess I'll leave that there because I don't really have anybody else that can use that. The tar beads, they are going to be very important, as are the cave nettle for the potion making. But for now, we can't make any potions because we don't have what we need to make potions. This is a good time to show you that there's a quick save button, a feature in the game. So I'm going to try and use that more because dying is bad. Now here's a new friend. And now this is actually a perfect time to show you just how combat in this game is made. Because if we just stand there and take it, we are going to take a lot of damage. But we can sort of trick this guy, and that's pretty much how you do combat in this game. This guy has a shield, and he is quite powerful. I just ran straight into his attack there, didn't I? Huzzah! Everybody got a level. I'm just gonna go back and find that rock that I tossed down here. Man, I'm really good at throwing, aren't I? So we got a level. We also got some items here. Look at this. We got a shield. A shield is awesome because shields give us evasion, and that is also always important. And there is the spear that I'm trying to pick up, but I cannot. There we go. Now this spear is pretty good because it is a reach weapon. We can actually use this, and this allows Croak to attack from behind. We're not going to use this for very long, but you know, I mean, as soon as we find a bow or anything that can shoot stuff ahead, we're going to swap that out. But it's nice for now, and we can just use the rocks. We got some skills. I do want to get him up to armors. If you see, you know, 25 is shield expert, but we're not really focusing this dude on evasion. But heavy armor proficiency is very important. But for now, I'm just going to dump it all into swords, because swords are nice. Balrog is unarmed, and we're not really going to put anything else in here. So we got some decks. That's always nice. Croak, still nothing I can really use. I'm not going to, you know, put anything into throwing weapons because that's dumb. And our friend Curly Brace here, Ice Magic, we do want that, but we also want a bit of spellcraft for some extra willpower, and the level 5 spells specifically. Maybe even the level 10 spells, because faster spell casting is very nice. So I'm going to dump this all into spellcraft. It doesn't give me anything else right now. My torch is burning low, so I'm just going to toss that out. Balrog is right now very much a torch bearer, but that's fine. He will get a shield eventually, but for now, he's going to just carry a torch. It doesn't matter that he's unarmed, because as long as I attack with his hand and not the torch, then it's going to count as unarmed. We have a scroll. Doors of Iron. Great rewards can be found behind these doors. To gain access, look carefully for small details and use your wits. No need to carry that around. There's a button there, and a button there. Stroke of luck. Let's call it high perception or something like that. What have we here? We have a wand. A whitewood wand. Plus 5 energy, that's always nice, and that's pretty much all it can do. But it does, you know, allow us to cast our spells and ready our spells, and, you know, energy is always nice, you know. This magical staff is a powerful weapon when wielded by a potent mage. I am a potent mage, or I will be. So here is a crystal of life, is what I'm going to call it. I think it actually has a name for it here. Crystal of life. How about that? Touch to regain health and restore life. Any character that has been deaded will be resurrected, but you don't really want your characters to die, obviously, because then they won't get any XP. We have a scroll of Poison Cloud, but we don't have any earth magic, so that's that. Onwards to the next level. Huzzah! This went well.